The cost of poor leadership and management. Hi, let's talk about what happens when engineering managers fail to lead effectively. Good management isn't just about hitting deadlines and delivering projects. It's about ensuring that engineers grow, stay engaged, and succeed. But when managers neglect their role as leaders, the consequences are serious. Stagnant teams, disengaged employees, and high turnover. When managers focus only on results and ignore career development, engineers feel like they're stuck in a dead-end job. It's not enough to give people tasks to complete. Leaders must actively invest in their team's growth. Engineers need to see a path forward, whether that means technical mastery, leadership opportunities, or cross-functional skill building. Without a clear sense of progress, motivation fades, and engineers start looking for better opportunities elsewhere. A failure to delegate and coach creates bottlenecks. Some managers struggle to let go of tasks, either because they don't trust their teams or because they believe they can do the job faster themselves. The result? Engineers never get the chance to grow, and the manager becomes overwhelmed with execution instead of strategy. Without proper delegation, teams remain dependent on their manager for every decision, slowing down progress and making leadership ineffective. Micromanagement kills both creativity and confidence. When managers hover over engineers, second-guessing every choice and controlling every detail, it sends a clear message: I don't trust you to do this. Over time, engineers lose confidence in their own abilities and stop taking initiative. Instead of thinking critically, they default to waiting for instructions, leading to a team that follows orders rather than solves problems. Without opportunities for growth, retention becomes impossible. Engineers don't just want jobs, they want careers that evolve. If they aren't learning, aren't being challenged, or don't see a path forward, they will move on. Some managers assume that keeping engineers in their current roles as long as possible is good for the company, but the reality is that stagnation leads to attrition. The best managers recognize when an engineer has outgrown their role and actively help them find their next step, inside or outside of the company. Another common leadership mistake? Focusing on weaknesses instead of strengths. Engineers are at their best when they're allowed to double down on what they're great at, instead of constantly being asked to fix areas where they struggle. When managers focus too much on improving weaknesses, they waste potential and drain motivation. Instead, great leaders leverage their engineers' strengths, creating roles and opportunities that align with what each person does best. And here's the big one. Bad management doesn't just affect individuals, it affects the whole team. When engineers feel unsupported, the effects ripple outward. Productivity drops, morale declines, and the best talent leaves, forcing the company into constant hiring cycles instead of building a stable, experienced team. The cost of replacing an experienced engineer is high, both in lost productivity and in the time it takes to train someone new. At the end of the day, great leadership isn't just a bonus, it's a requirement for a thriving engineering team. Managers who fail to develop their teams, coach effectively, and create growth opportunities don't just hurt individual engineers, they weaken the entire organization. So the real question is, are we leading in a way that helps engineers grow, or are we driving them away by keeping them stuck? How to build strong engineering leadership. Let's talk about what engineering managers can and should do to build strong, engaged, and high-performing teams. We've already covered what happens when leadership fails: stagnation, disengagement, and high turnover. But the good news? Great leadership is a skill that can be developed. With the right approach, managers can create an environment where engineers grow, succeed, and actually want to stay. The first step? Shift the focus from managing tasks to developing people. A manager's job isn't just to ensure that code gets written, it's to help engineers become better versions of themselves. This means understanding each person's career goals, strengths, and interests, and actively working to create opportunities for growth. Regular one-on-one conversations should go beyond project updates to cover learning goals, challenges, and long-term aspirations. Coaching, not micromanagement, is the key to an empowered team. Instead of solving every problem for engineers, managers should ask good questions that guide them, toward their own solutions. Simple shifts like, "What do you think is the best approach?" instead of "Here's what you should do," make a huge difference in building confidence and problem-solving skills. When managers act as coaches instead of gatekeepers, teams become more independent, more capable, and more engaged. Delegation isn't just about offloading work, it's about creating growth opportunities. Too often, managers hesitate to delegate because they think that they can do the job faster or don't want to burden their team. But real delegation isn't just about speed. It's about giving engineers the chance to stretch, learn, and take ownership. Managers should delegate with intention, ensuring that the right people get the right challenges to expand their skills. Creating structured growth paths keeps engineers engaged. Career development shouldn't be a mystery. Engineers should have clear, transparent pathways for both technical and leadership growth. Whether it's advancing as an individual contributor, stepping into mentorship roles, or exploring leadership, managers should work with their teams to define what success looks like at each stage. Engineers stay when they see a future they're excited about. Leaders should focus on strengths, not just weaknesses. Engineers don't need to be well-rounded in everything. They need to excel at what they do best. Instead of trying to fix every gap, managers should help engineers lean into their strengths and find roles that amplify them. This doesn't mean ignoring areas for improvement. It means balancing constructive feedback with recognition and encouragement. Retention isn't about keeping people forever. It's about ensuring they grow. Not every engineer will stay in the same company long-term, and that's okay. What matters is that while they're here, they feel valued, challenged, and supported. The best managers recognize when an engineer has outgrown their current role and actively help them find their next step, inside or outside the company. Ironically, managers who truly invest in their engineers' growth often end up with more loyal, long-term employees. At the end of the day, great engineering management isn't about control. It's about support, guidance, and trust. When managers shift their focus from execution to empowerment, teams become stronger, engineers become more engaged, and the entire organization benefits. So the real question is, are we leading in a way that builds future leaders, or are we just managing tasks?